Cedar Rapids native Orion Vance was a Cyclone captain. Now he has a chance at making an NFL roster. Vance didn't have an easy journey to Iowa State, but he's gotten past every roadblock. Jack Leto has more.
For Orion Vance, football was the easy part. He was a three-time All-Stater at Wash, and schools like Iowa State were seriously interested. His only problem was his grades.
I disliked how sitting in classes and then being given information and then you having to take it and just overload yourself and then spit it back out on an exam.
He's always been a smart kid. I wouldn't say he couldn't do the work. I would say maybe those first couple of years he was just disinterested in the work.
When the offers came in, Vance's grades needed to improve if he wanted to be eligible to play. In came his guidance counselor, Carla Wasaba.
I called Miss Wasaba my warden because she would make sure everything from classes to was I at school, how much homework I had to do, like making sure I got work turned in.
Yeah, I don't know that I knew about this at first, but he did call me the warden because I was on his case all the time because I wanted him to be able to follow his dreams, and that wasn't going to happen if he wasn't doing everything he could possibly do to get his grades up.
Wasaba and Vance planned out almost his entire junior and senior years, and Vance took any opportunity he got to put in extra work.
We would go together and have conversations with teachers about what he could be doing, and then when he didn't have things to work on for homework, then he was studying for the ACT. He had to take the ACT a lot, and so that would be like the night before an ACT, it was like, where are your pencils? Where are you going to park? What time are you getting up? What are you going to eat for breakfast? You know, just everything to make sure that he was as prepared as possible for this test.
By the time he graduated, Vance wasn't just getting by. He was setting an example.
Some of his friends who weren't great students or struggled academically saw that he was really working hard, and I think that motivated some other kids around him as well.
It paid off, and Vance did get to Iowa State, and he got on the field. But during his freshman year, he had one more setback.
Fall was when my grades kind of reflected back into that freshman, sophomore year.
At the end of the season, he sat down with Matt Campbell and his position coach, Tyson Veit.
And we had our exit meetings for that year, and they were like, what are you doing? Like, we worked this hard. We got you to this point. You got yourself to this point, and are you just going to throw it away, or are you going to actually grow and learn and show that you want to be here?
And that's when Vance touched base with his high school defensive coordinator and solidified his journey.
He stopped by school and we talked a little bit. It's like, well, what are you going to do the second semester? And he just said, greatest comeback ever.
And boy, was it ever a comeback. He stayed at Iowa State for an extra year, never had a GPA below 3.0, and is now training for a spot on an NFL roster.
From that point on, I made the conscious decision that I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that the people who helped me get into this position, the work that they've done hasn't gone in the trash.
I'm just proud of the progress he's made, and am I surprised he graduated? No, but I sure was proud when he told me he was getting his master's, and I was like, wow, talk about that is a comeback. That is the greatest comeback of all time, from being a little bit of academic trouble to getting a master's 5.5 years later. That's pretty big. That's a pretty big deal.
Reporting in Cedar Rapids, Jack Leto, KCRG TV9 Sports.